Hey gang, and welcome back to the Tavern. We're back tonight with the HeckRazors on the island of Miyamoto. But before we get into all that, we've got a few announcements to take care of first. And kicking things off, a word from tonight's sponsor. We've talked about Impassable Creations a lot on the channel. We've shown you pictures from their website, but does that even really do it justice? Of course not. Without further ado, we've got Bane. We've got Hypnotic Pattern. We've got Moonbeam. And we're not stopping there. They've got stickers, they've got awesome initiative trackers, they've got plushies and scrunchies, all to keep your dice feeling fine and your table on track. So hop on over to impassablecreations.com today and grab something. But don't forget to use our code YBIT24 at checkout for 10% off your order. It really helps us out as well. Next, we've got Kat with some merch news. Kat?
Hey, yeah, that's right. We've got some HeckRazors merch to finally share with you all. From our California Classic collection, we've got this awesome new design featuring our new character art by Tommy Thornberry slapped on some premium tees and hoodies. And then, inspired by our California Classic collection, we've got something that resonates deep within my soul. Our new Heckin' Tired collection featuring our bestest boy George, wearing his new art by Tommy Thornberry. Check out the whole line and a wide selection of premium styles today at You Begin in a Gift Shop. Link in the description below.
And make sure you've liked and subscribed. And then grab your friend's phone to make sure they've liked and subscribed. And then hit that bell icon to get notified each time an episode premieres.
So, without any further ado, let's dive in with the HeckRazors to the Legends of Abhaile. Alright, and we are back at the digital table once more. Last we left off, y'all had pressed westward from the, apparently your new fort, perched high above the northern jungles of Miyamoto. You made your way through dense, humid forest, rarely traveled by the island's denizens, tracking down the shadowy fissure seen by Shalla in her vision through the Whispering Vale. Tracking two sets of footprints, even, that you discovered through the moist tropical mud, you made your way to this massive rock formation, hoping to get a better view of the forest below. As you all crested the ridge, you found yourselves face to face with Maya, the Cowanai of Takor Harbor, who'd set you all on this path, apparently for the sole purpose of having your all's minds fall and become twisted by that very darkness. And at her side was a fierce legend of the Central Islands known as Nalani Rowe, the Butcher of the North Groves. Even more curious, the pair seemed to be willing agents, conspirators or confederates to this darkness, not under its thrall, or at least it didn't seem that way. Time will tell. Neither stuck around long enough to be questioned. Maya teleported away instantly, releasing a pent-up blast of psychic rage contained from the fissure far below, and Nalani Rowe drawing her blade and attacking with a ferocity not typical of even the most enraged islanders. Through the combined efforts of Vargo and Corvin, she was quickly put on the defensive, and I mean quickly. That was a well-done fight, guys, as arrow and bolt interrupted her machinations. Still, though, a formidable foe, she carved into Shalla and Scylla, causing heavy damage before ultimately being forced to retreat. So we picked back up on top of this rock formation deep in the jungles of Miyamoto.
Is Scylla still down?
No, but I am barely up, although I can heal myself here in a second.
Okay, just wanted to check, see if you needed a potion or anything. Anybody?
No, potions are limited use. We have spell slots.
Yeah.
Simple. You guys want to take a short rest?
I thought we were going to try to get down there. That's what we left off on.
Yeah, probably.
Roll some healing here in a second.
Yeah, go for it, man. And if anybody wants to make a nature or survival check to see if you can nature, survival, or perception to see if you guys can find a way down. I'll let you guys choose, and we'll answer that those checks dependent on the type of roll. So Vargo, with the 17 perception, you're able to see that the rock formation is kind of like it's not a singular rock that's resting upon the ground here. It's more of like a pile of kind of like a remnants of a landslide. You kind of gather from high up the mountain. That's just been, covered over by vegetation and time, and it's a significant drop down to the forest below you guys on this one side, but you remember walking from the fort and noticing that the land sort of started to equalize for the most part, so it's really. As you kind of scan the area, looking further north and around the side, there's a small stream running along the one side that you can hear the spilling of running water, like there is a waterfall nearby. And you can see that further out, you can see the tree, like to your guys's right, past the stream, the waterway. You can see that the tree canopy it's more or less level with you guys on that side, and you can follow the canopy as it dips down. Pretty abruptly, where you kind of gather that waterfall to be. You're fairly comfortable with the idea that either taking the quick way down the waterfall or taking a few minutes to get, to make your way down and around and then across the water below. You can get down there very safely that way, just kind of taking the long way. Not sure exactly how long that would take though, but and then Corvin with an 11. You're kind of like following Vargo's gaze as he sweeps across the area, and you're like, oh yeah, that does make sense. You're all pretty comfortable that you can get down there without jumping and falling to your death.
That would be for the best.
Are you sure? I think it'd be kind of
I
funny.
won't come up with what the Islanders' afterlife is about.
But yeah, you guys take a couple minutes to get your healing cast and get back to a little bit of a better place. Vargo, I'll say with a 17 on that perception roll too. You noticed below you. It was hard to notice at the time because the crazy fight that was going on, but color is returning to the jungle below in almost every way. Like you can see it, and you can see exactly where that fissure is below the surface of the canopy now because of the radiating effect of that graying is drawing back into that center, almost like live while it's happening. You're just it's retreating in on itself. Maybe 5 foot. 5 foot every 30 seconds. The area is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Wait, where she jumped into?
Yes, and where where previously when Maya was there, she was holding that wall of force around that heat miraged area, and that graying was billowing out from that area, irradiating like a heat lamp, basically, and even into the sky, taking some of the color away from the radiant ambient atmosphere. But it seems to be whatever is going on. It seems to be receding at least a little bit.
I don't know what your grasp on local politics is missing, Shalla, but it seems like we should probably follow her down. Looked like she jumped towards that area that's slowly disappearing.
I would agree.
Does it look like the area we were in, like the other magical zone we've been in, basically under Granny's house?
Not quite. It reminds you a lot of the first fissure that you had seen. In some ways, but in a different way, it's a much stronger effect, or at least it was a much stronger effect. Now it seems to be about how it was when you'd found it, that first one. So, like, you know, it was influencing and pushing into the area around it, but it wasn't going very far at all. But when Maya was present, it was substantially stronger. You're not sure if it was something that she was doing or if it was because of her or what.
Yeah, either way, that area looks to be rapidly disappearing, and I would like to investigate it at least. Do we have people who are, like, dead on their feet, or are we mostly good to climb down
I've
a
done
rock
some
face?
healing on myself, so I can go. I don't know about Scylla.
Yeah, I've got some hit points, so I don't want to push
Yeah.
it, but I should be good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna
I only
take
have
the
one.
time to call it a short rest. I got some hit dice I can roll.
Yeah, I could definitely handle a short rest because I used up all of my arcane shots during that.
Yep.
So I'm just a glorified hunter right now.
Do we have time to do a short rest? Or does it look like we'll miss our opportunity?
Do you want to roll me an Arcana check for a go?
My
Fuck it,
guidance?
Yeah, you can take guidance. Yeah.
An 8.
It's hard to tell. It is definitely receding, but it's hard to tell if it's. There's a lot of uncertain things that happened this afternoon, and it's hard to say for sure.
Do you mind if I take a look? I have a +6 to it, so if I can take my shot at it, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, sir. There we go. 21.
21. 21's a really good roll. This is still kind of a weird, unknown type of thing to you guys. There's, I'll say with a 21, Corvin, I'll say that your mind is brought back to the second fissure that you all found, the one that had been covered over in shadow glass, that had seemingly gone from an active shadow fissure to inactive through some means. You're not sure if that's what's happening down there, because, you know, no one's ever seen that happen, and no one knows why it happened. But part of you's wondering if it's shrinking that much. Maybe that might be, maybe it's dying. But it also might be because of whatever Maya was doing, interfering with it. It could just be returning to its normal state, I guess.
Yeah, what I was kind of thinking. It was like, it was more... So, can I convey that to the group? So, like, guys, I'm not sure how or what is going on 100%. It looks like it might be just returning to its normal state. It looks like it was being, like, kind of exacerbated. It looks like it was being, like, expanded upon by her interference. Plus, I'm in no rush to go jump into a black hole. What about you guys?
If Fargo wants to go down there and look at it, I'll go down with him. Because I'm curious too.
Cool. We'll stay up here and catch our breath, and if you tell us to jump in, we're jumping.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's good.
Right on, right on. So how do you guys want to make it down?
Got some
Safest way possible.
Pythons. Pythons. I forget what we decided it
I
was.
don't know. You can call them whatever you want.
I've got a hammer. I've got
It is
full climbing
Python.
tools.
I have a barrel. You can just go over the waterfall.
But I don't know if that's safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the record, guys, I did look it up, and it is Piton.
Oh, okay. I don't know that I like that, but you know, that's
there's-
what
Yeah,
it is.
I'm not sure.
I don't know
like
if I'll remember that.
Yeah, probably not.
Tell you what, house rules, pronounce Python.
This is how we say it here.
It's like a python without the H.
You know what? Fucking fight me.
Hey, you got low HP, I'll fight you.
I wasn't talking about Scylla.
You've got one level of exhaustion IRL, I'll fight you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cripple
You guys
fight!
out heaven, right?
I'm also out of spell slots and walking with as if having difficult terrain. So
Dude, I feel you so much there.
yeah. Well, I'll just send my X-ray of my knee to the channel just so I can see it.
Oh God,
Oh.
guys, you can find that on the Patreon as well.
Yeah, it shows a shit ton of bone spurs and both parts of my kneecap.
Oh, that's fun. Because you're supposed to have two parts of that.
Yeah, no, and apparently I've just had it for years too. Because that wasn't even what I went to see the doctor for. I popped my meniscus the first night we recorded Spellbound.
Oh, Lord. But all right, so yeah, you guys wanna do a little rock climbing? Yeah, I'm here for it.
Sure.
Let's do athletics advantage as you guys slowly work your way down, securing pythons as you go to make sure that you don't. If you do fall, it wouldn't be the end of the world type of situation.
Yeah.
And then guidance myself too.
You absolutely can.
Same.
But yeah, so with a 16 Vargo, we'll say that you take a little bit of time, but what you're kind of taking time with is making sure you get those. I'm gonna say pittance this time, and I'm gonna say it different every time just to irritate the people on the internet.
Perfect.
You get them knocked
love it.
into
That
the
algorithm, baby.
exactly. You get them knocked into the rock face and get them secured as Shalla descends, and then you kind of follow after. And you guys, it takes a little bit of time, but it's not that bad really, because it's like 75 foot about thereabouts. As you guys clear through the canopy, though, Shalla and Vargo, as you guys break your way through the canopy down below, Shalla, you immediately, because you had scryed on this fissure before, and you remember seeing this fissure before. It was very, very reminiscent of the first one you had seen, except instead of being up against a rock face like that first one was, it was kind of like splitting the rock and into the ground type of deal. This one was in the middle of a clearing, right?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
But as you guys descend, it looks different. Substantially different, and let me bring you guys over here so you can see what I'm talking about. It looks substantially bigger.
Dang.
So you guys are coming down over here in this area. If you see my ping,
Oh, okay.
and you want to make me perception checks, both of you?
Sure.
Hell.
Good Lord, Shalla.
I'll even guidance myself. Just why not?
Heck yeah, I love it. See if you can tie with Vargo. Oh, almost. But yeah, so this thing is massive compared to the previous one that you guys have seen. The previous one, at the widest part, was maybe 4 or 5 feet wide, with lots of little splintering crack, like ice crack. little bits that shot off of it in this way and that way, and like made little thin cuts through the rock face. This is got a look to it that is kind of, it looks like it's been bored. Throw you guys tokens down on here as when I say bored, I mean like cut in, like expanded, maybe drilled out type of thing. Let me throw you some tokens on here. As you guys touch down in the, you got the rock face to your right, or the right of the screen at least. And this forest is the clearing opens up. It's still mostly obstructed overhead from canopy, but the ground has been mostly clear cut away. It's hard to tell if that's just a natural thing or if it was done intentionally, but there's no stumps or anything. So it's starting to lean towards maybe a natural clearing. But the fissure, as you guys look over to it, it's like it's carved straight out of the rock. The rocks, it's rough, it's uneven, that you can see if you guys are coming from that direction. I'd say you can see the far sides of it pretty well. It's pretty rough hewn, and it looks very similar to this in a lot of ways. The ground around it has been blighted a little bit, like, and that's nothing new. It kind of like where the previous one that you'd found, where the like immediately around it had sort of like corrupted the land a little tiny bit, like permanently. But this it wasn't very long ago when you scryed on this, Shalla, and it was relatively normal looking at the time. It's now it's hard to tell.
Not.
Are you guys walking closer, or
Maybe try to sneak a little bit closer and peek over.
Cautiously, yeah.
okay, cool. And it is trying to do some mental gymnastics in my head. The sun in Abhaile runs west to east. It is afternoon, so I would say you're in dim light as well, Vargo, with the thick canopy overhead, at least until you get into the clearing. So you guys want to make me a couple stealth checks? Vargo, you almost don't need to. But yeah, Vargo, if you just want to, yeah. I am the knight.
Yeah, it's well in full darkness.
Oh,
That's the only
full
thing
darkness. I thought it was dim light too for some reason. Maybe I'm thinking of some other weird class feature. But anyways, you guys make your way closer, and as you guys push out from the trees into, like, or at least near the edge of the clearing, you can see that there's some supplies, boxes and barrels that have been set up around the place. They look from, it's hard to tell, but from the distance they're on the far side of the hole, but they look like they're like dry rotted and like ancient. But Shalla, you remember seeing just the other day that they those weren't there. So what we're likely seeing there was some type of latent effect of the shadowy stuff that's pulling out from it. Which, as you guys make it closer, do you want to make me Arcana check, if you want to? Because with your guys' passive perception as well, as you approach it, it's not leaking blackness out. It's not doing that thing where it like mercury floats up.
Probably good.
Yeah, it's if
You said to roll an Arcana?
yeah, Arcana.
All right. I'm guidancing
Cool.
myself and anyone who needs it.
Cool.
I guess I'll add a d4 and see if I can reach 15, maybe.
Hey,
Nope.
this is almost. So it's really weird. Well, and you guys are not unfamiliar with magic, but it's clearly a different type of magic than Maya was using. But you can kind of only surmise that what she was doing with her weird pillar of heat mirage air. Its purpose wasn't to attack you guys. I mean, it filled that spot and it did that job, and it did that job pretty well, but it wasn't the purpose. She was intentionally widening this hole for some reason. And as you look down into it, Fargo, how far is your crazy dark vision?
Let me open that tab back up. 60 feet.
Okay. With 60 feet, Shalla, you'd probably have a little bit of a hard time, but Fargo, with the 60 feet of dark vision, as you guys get a little bit closer, you can see down below there are, like, it's a hole and it goes down very far, but it doesn't go down perpetually far. Maybe it goes out of sight, but as it goes out of sight, you're seeing sloping to the walls of the hole that make you think that it's probably not much further than what you can see, Vargo, where the bottom of this thing is. And the walls are odd. Where they start off as like this rough-hewn rock, but the further you go down, the further you look down, you can see it's hard to tell what they are at first, but then you get a good look at it, and it's weird because you just haven't seen it and anything like it here so far. But it's like dead or dormant trees, like you'd see in wintertime, that are like completely void of all leaves, just, sticky trees poking up through the darkness at the very bottom of this hole. And the walls have, in places, there's it almost looks like a building, or a kind of has like a temple vibe to it. But its architecture is strange. Its architecture is like completely alien to anything you've seen here before. Anywhere, Vargo, or Shalla. But Shalla, I'd say you probably can't see it down there.
Probably not.
And when I say you see buildings, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 tops, of like just like built into the wall, like it was like yes, very old looking. But at the same time, there's this weird that doesn't belong here thing. And it also, you guys notice that the edges, even Shalla, even you, up on the level with you, around the edges of the fissure, is a coalescing blackness that kind of tries to leach out towards the center of the hole. This hole is massive, 30 foot wide. But this darkness, this blackness leaches up from the outside, trying to go to the inside, but it's a lot. It pushes in, and you see, Shalla, you notice little tendrils of gold weaving its way through that darkness that forms on the edges of this, kind of like a scab crusting over. Before it solidifies. And from that, more of this blackness starts to push out from that new edge, with gold tendrils streaking through it in ways and places. And you hear inside your head, Shalla, interesting. A little piece of home come to find me.
Look around. Look at Fargo and say, did you hear that?
Was I able to see the You said the edges were like expanding a little?
Not really
Right.
expanding. I'm doing a bad job of explaining it. They're like from the edge pushing inward a little bit. It's like darkness is coalescing there and then solidifying with little veins of gold in it. You can definitely see that too.
Edge on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Vargo's eyes are kind of bugging out as he peers deeper down in the hole, and then he jumps and turns and says, "Here, what?"
I heard a voice. It said this was a little piece of home. Come to find them. It almost sounded like it was in my head, but that doesn't make sense.
Is this a voice you heard before?
I think so. I just dismissed it. I assumed it was nothing.
See, I know where the voices in my head are coming from, and that's my boss. Are you sure it's not the same situation for you?
You hear voices in your head?
Yeah, we have I don't know if your magic does this sort of thing, but we can send long-distance communication spells. I think we're getting a little off topic here, though. We should go tell the rest of the group about this. And it looks like it's not going anywhere to me, so maybe wait for them to lick their wounds. But we got to get in there. I've never seen anything like this on your island. Have you seen something like this?
Nothing.
Can you ask the voice what home is? What is down there?
I can try. And then she's just gonna kind of think, like, what do you mean home?
What do you mean, home? Home is the same to everyone. It's a place where you feel safe, a place that you know.
I don't like that this darkness makes you feel safe. Also, who are you and why are you in my head?
Who says I'm in your head? I think you might be in mine.
I'm pretty sure I'm in the real world.
And what makes your world real?
I don't know. Feels real to me. Who are you?
Who do you think I am?
I have no idea.
I think I'm a passenger with you in this great journey that we're on. It's so exciting.
But why am I hearing you?
Well, I had to... I'm not gonna lie, I grew kind of bored sitting in your bag.
You're in my bag?
Well, in a manner of speaking, I'm in your bag.
Wait, you said this darkness feels like home, and you say you're in my bag. Are you in the Whispering Vale?
I whisper from it sometimes, don't I?
I guess you do.
You can call me... You can call me Ira.
Ira. Okay.
That's E-I-R-A.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna say Ira so much, but yeah, correctly. Well, Ira, I am Shalla.
Oh, I know quite well who you are. Are you going to take me down there and set me free?
I don't know about that. What was the old lady's name that made the Whispering Vale?
Anna.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, Anna.
Anna. Did Anna put you in here when she made this?
She trapped me in here.
That's
I don't think I'm going to set you free. I'm sure there's a reason you were trapped in me.
There's clearly a reason. Does that make it right?
I guess not.
As she gets a little more agitated in your head, it sounds like it's more than just her voice echoing off from all different angles in your head. Do what you will. I want nothing to do with it. And then she kind of just goes quiet.
Okay.
Um,
And she was like, Ira? Ira? Oh, I guess that's the end of our conversation.
But
When you open your eyes, Vargo's like craning his neck around, like looking for some apparition around you or something.
Can he see anything?
make me a perception check, Vargo.
I don't have a spell slot left for detect magic.
Wait, was Shalla speaking out loud that whole time?
No, she was speaking in her head.
God, I wish she
19.
was. Yeah. 19. 19, you don't see a thing. You don't see a thing, but Vargo, you do remember the last time you had detect magic up. And you're starting to wonder if it's not the most, it's not as benign as Anna had made it out to be.
Yeah.
I
Wonderful.
knew it.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with Anna when I see her again.
I knew she was up to no good.
But if you guys are wanting to go to get Scylla and Corvin, they're, I mean, it's, like I said, it's 75 feet. I'm sure you could probably yell up to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you mentioning anything that happened when? Well, I guess when you open your eyes, Vargo would be like, "So did you had your eyes closed a long time there? I assume it worked."
Yes, I was talking to someone named Ira. They say they live in my bags. I think they're in the Whispering Vale somehow. She says that darkness feels like home, though.
Oh.
And that Anna trapped her in there.
Oh.
It makes me nervous that the darkness feels like home to her.
And I want to make a distinction here, just in case I wasn't clear. I don't know how to roleplay this. So, she was implying that the darkness within the hole, not the darkness that's crystallizing on the top of it. Just for clarification.
No, I figure that. The darkness down in the hole, she says it feels like home, and I'm like,
That maybe that doesn't sound like something we should take down there.
Maybe we should leave my bag. I don't know if I want to let it possibly fall into someone else's hands.
Is some sort of like dark magical underworld something that our society has any? Like, is that something anyone would ever have heard of?
Vargo, you want to
I had
roll
to take
me?
a guess.
Yeah, Vargo,
Sorry.
roll me either history or religion, either or, sir. And Shalla, what was you saying?
Oh, I'm saying if anyone knows anything about that, I'd say it's Scylla, just because of where they lived, and she saw the blackness down there with the dragon.
Heck yeah,
Or do you know about that?
You'll have to, yeah, Scylla had told you guys about that. You'd have to ask her when
That's
she gets
right.
down the mountainside.
I definitely will.
Yeah, let's. I got a 17, and
17.
we can go back over and start shouting up at him.
Cool. With a 17, Vargo, you're familiar with a couple of the darker aligned aspects of the Pantheon, specifically Nixus the Gloomweaver, who's kind of like what Onstrians believe is a type of death god, but it's more of like it's not like your traditional like Egyptian, or like they're not like a collector of the dead. They're more of like they more like represent the natural end of all living beings type of thing. It's kind of
Yeah, like a neutral good death god.
kind of yeah
maybe.
yeah. It's definitely
Not necessarily.
yeah, it's more like, yeah, but you're on the right track. There's parallels between stories that you've heard of the Gloomweaver, but there's also not. But there's also I will say on 17, this part of the DC was quite high. But I'll give you half credit and say that that there are books in the Infinium back in Austria that speak of the different planes of existence, and you know that the Shadowfell is one of them. You don't know much about it. It's not a thing that you've had a chance to study, but you know that that's a thing, and it doesn't. I mean, this seems like a weird place to find another plane, but it also kind of matches up with some of the stuff that Anna had told you guys about the shadow world beneath, as well. So I'll say you've got got a clear idea of a direction to go, but you don't quite have the wherewithal to like the actual intimate knowledge of it.
I'll slip off my mind shielding ring as we walk back to the cliff. And what was I? Yeah, I guess we'll shout up at him while I try to remember what I was gonna say to Shell.
Okay.
And we'll make our way down.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys want to make Scylla and Corvin want to make me some athletic checks with advantage, and it's a real low DC because you guys have got a established rope to climb down. It's secured very well.
Indeed. And spam guidance.
Ooh, good stuff. Really good stuff.
Oh, with advantage. Okay, let me re-roll that then.
Yeah, Scylla. I mean, you're good, Scylla, but let's just see how good you can be.
Oh, absolutely.
They just float down slowly.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot better. A lot better. Heck yeah. You were good the first time, but yeah, you're feeling much better after a harrowing afternoon, Scylla. So you guys, it takes you a couple minutes, but you guys get down to the ground level as well, and you're immediately not. You're put at somewhat at ease because Shalla and Vargo have been down here for a couple minutes and they're not freaking out, at least, so that's a good thing. But yeah, you guys can clearly see everything that they can see now as you guys make your way into the clearing where the fissure is.
Yeah, I'll describe the buildings at the bottom to people. I can see like the edges of the outlines of structures down there. Seems like some sort of weird shadow. It's like some sort of old ruin or something.
And I will say real quick, let me get me a drawing pen. About there is how far the top edge is scabbed over by now.
How much has that moved since we got down here?
Fargo, it's moved quite a bit, actually. When you guys had arrived on the ground level there, it was maybe 2 or 3 inches out from the edge. So it just did a number of, maybe a half hour or so. It's expanded quite a bit.
Okay. When we first encountered one of these, our little kobold friend almost died from the darkness radiating from it. Does it have anything that feels like toxic to us from if we get close to it?
No, actually it does not. It feels inert. There's a coldness in the air that is properly alien to this island. As you get closer to it, the ambient temperature drops like almost 20 degrees. It's quite cold close to it, but even as you're standing there, you can feel the sun kind of baking down on you as it's driving that temperature away. So it's very likely that there was it was present at one point, likely, and is retreated or is retreating.
I think if we're planning on going in there, we'll probably need to do it soon. It looks like it is closed a noticeable amount since we first got down here.
What
I
if
don't know
it's
how
the
you all
stuff
feel
while you're
about
in there?
resting on the inside, maybe. We should also decide what to do with your that thing that you've got in the ball.
You mean George?
No, Shalla's very
Oh,
potent magical artifact has been talking to her about wanting to go in there.
I was gonna say because George isn't going
Yeah.
to be staying here.
I don't know if you interpreted that in a malevolent way, but I certainly, what I heard from you, does not sound like we should take the ball in there.
I don't think we should either, but I don't think we should just leave it up here unattended.
What if it...
I-
Do I know if detect magic... Well, I guess, so it spoke to you about being conscious of what was happening while it was in the bag?
I think so. I
Trying to
think it
figure
knows
out
some things.
How...
She's not talking
much-
to me anymore
While you guys are
right
figuring
now.
stuff out, Scylla jumps in.
Oh,
Scylla.
We're going in, aren't we?
we gotta figure out what to do with the ball that wants to go in.
It's a 60-foot jump.
Well, it's getting small. The portal's getting smaller.
I'm like, what if it closes on you?
What I was trying to get at was, does it seem like the ball can communicate with the outside world or interact with it or observe
I
it when it's in the
think
bag of
so.
holding?
I think she's
Or is
very
that-
much trapped inside of it.
Oh my god. So Scylla,
I don't know if...
Scylla, you're jumping in, right?
Bad of an idea was that?
Oh no,
I
I mean,
probably try to stop her, but fruitlessly, I assume.
Can I
Yeah.
throw?
I'm pretty sure Scylla wants to do something. Scylla's doing something.
Scylla,
Can I quickly throw or fire a walloping arrow down towards him with some rope on it? Maybe something that she can grab onto to kind of. I was gonna do this first.
so that's kind of a stretch, Corvin, because it would be a thing that you'd have to prepare ahead of time, type of thing. But but Scylla, I'll say, because you guys are standing kind of on the edge of the clearing, or are you guys all standing like right up next to this thing? What's
I assumed we weren't like right up next to it because nobody else can see in it, so
I got you.
I was just describing to him.
Scylla, I will say, as you run towards the edge of the, sorry, that's my button. As you run
I
towards,
just kind of walked up while they're talking too much. While they're talking and figuring stuff out.
yeah, as you walk up and like kind of test your weight on the crystal surface that's kind of scabbing over, you can actually, like, in your feet, through your legs, up into your chest, you can feel the sound of like, and it's not, you think at first like, oh crap, you kind of like put your weight on your back foot and like, because you're like, oh no, is it cracking? But as you like take a second, it's the sound of it pushing inward and like growing inward. And you want to make me a perception check, Scylla, as you're like looking down into it and thinking really hard about jumping.
Can do that.
26. Oh. Scylla is perceptive. Heck yeah. So you don't have dark vision, Scylla, but even with the radiant daylight coming through, it's kind of like as this hole gets smaller and smaller, it's kind of like focusing the light down into it a little bit, and you can see the bottom about 65-70 foot down. It's almost perfectly flat on the bottom that you can see. The edges of it are kind of obscured in shadow, but it's like it's been cut with a laser. If you don't know what a laser is, but it's eerily flat on the bottom. And looking down at an angle through that hole, you can see that the walls are filling in. It's not just the top. Like, the whole hole is filling in with crystal.
Gotcha.
You're more than welcome to try and hop down.
Yeah, look back. Are we going in?
I mean, do we check the orb over in one of those boxes or something?
Why don't we leave it with George? Exit.
Have him take it in a tree and fall under its influence?
No. I think it'll be fine. It's in the bag of holding, and I don't think she can get out. She might try to influence me, so if I seem like I'm going to take it out, please just take the bag from me.
Or give her your...
Or kill Shalla, I don't know.
Please don't.
Why don't you give her your ring to hold on to while he goes down there so it can't...
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Oh, okay.
Here, he'll, I guess it wasn't invisible since I took it off, but he'll pull a ring out of his pocket. Say, when you wear this, she shouldn't be able to talk to you or influence you, hopefully.
Okay.
I don't really know the upper limits on it, but it works for message spells from mages.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I guess if you're confident taking it in the hole in the bag,
Taking it in the hole.
Woo!
then we can hop in there.
Let's all hop in the hole.
I've been waiting for it. Thank you, Margo. You do not disappoint, my friend. Like, right when you said the hole was filling up with crystal,
God, that was beautiful.
I literally wanted to say that's what crystal said, but I was trying to keep...
Joshua Horatio Christ.
Oh, God, it was so perfect.
Oh, God, this needed to happen.
Well, I, for one, am confident taking it in the hole, so let's go.
At the rate that it's closing, I'd say you probably want to get the quickest person to try and secure a rope or something to a tree, maybe. Actually, yeah. and because of the length,
I can just step down.
Yeah, well, you can misty step 30 feet down, Corvin.
I can shoot an arrow and grab a rope.
You could certainly try. But I mean, it's definitely closing quick. So you guys would need to tie off a rope to something and like really quickly, like fire pole down that thing.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
I'll go.
Yeah.
This is what I came here for.
Heck yeah. So, Fargo, do you want to make me a dexterity? We'll call it. You can do dexterity. You can do sleight of hand if you've got proficiency in it.
I do not.
Okay, so either dexterity is fine. Just roll me that real quick to.
Okay. Can I guidance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there time for action on guidance?
Yeah.
A 27.
Yeah. Holy cow. Holy cow. All right. Yeah, you for sure. You get a good.
I'm in my element now.
Heck yeah. And you get that thing thrown over there. You guys quickly want to jump. All right, Corvin, are you gonna take the rope down, or are you gonna do some goofy stuff?
Oh no, I'm not misty stepping down when there's a rope already set. I'll just on the rope.
I was so ready for that. Heck yeah.
I would have done it with flair if I could make it the full 60 feet, but I cannot. So
I know that's why it was exciting for me, because I love giving people fall damage. God, it's fun. So yeah, you guys quickly jump on the rope and slide down, and it is the most eerie feeling in the world, as it closes in on itself above you. You can and it's starting to really push it even from the sides. Shalla and Scylla, you saw it with Shalla and Corvin. You are kind of shocked. You know, it looked like it was just the top that was scabbing over, but the whole hole is starting to push in, and as you guys are going down, it's getting like closer and closer and closer and closer to the point where it's like right around you, to the part where it's like pushing up against you, and your arms are scraping up against it as you slide down, to the point where panic starts to set in just a little bit, and you start,
Feeling claustrophobic?
100% feeling claustrophobic. You start
Totally.
pushing your shoulders and your elbows into the walls and trying to force yourself down quicker until it
Completes and kills us all.
You're curious to see. Would you guys mind dragging your little tokens over here into your pretend like you're on a rope? Shalla and Scylla, you guys being the last ones down the rope, it's starting to really freak you out. Like, was this the worst idea we've ever made in our entire life? As like, and Scylla, you make it down past the. Let me start over this way. But we'll say, so Vargo, you make it down to the ground level. Corvin, you make it down to the ground level, and it's completely dark. Scylla, you are really freaking out with your, wide stature, dragon body. You're on the verge of having a little bit of a panic thing, and then you feel you feel air and space around your legs first, and then your arms, and then your head, and then I can breathe again. As it has gone most of the way down, probably 50 feet down, before that seems to be the extent of the crystallization. And Shalla, as you're going down, you're a small little thing, so it gets tremendously close. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw, Shalla? Sorry, I stumbled through that.
Me out, so
Oh, you're good. Take your time.
I'm gonna guidance myself as well.
I'd say in this situation, I don't know that you could guidance yourself, because it's a verbal somatic component type of thing, and you're fire bowling down a hole, and it's slowly trash compactoring in on you. So,
Alright, then ignore that last part then.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I still haven't seen it though.
Oh.
You just tell me what you rolled, and I'll trust you.
I think it was like a 12 or something.
12 or something. Cool. Not a problem. With a 12, I will say that you you freak out a little much, and you actually let go of the rope. And letting go of the rope with a 12 is probably the best thing you could have done. As you start to pick up your pace and fall a little faster, it's closing in tighter and tighter and tighter, and to the point where it grabs a few strands of hair and plucks them out as you pass through to the point where it's no longer encroaching, and you land pretty much on Scylla's head, who's still crawling down the rope. But Scylla, you're strong enough that you maintain your grip, no problem. So you guys all make it to the bottom of this hole, and looking up, there is no light anywhere. It is completely dark and eerily chilly, and it's so quiet.
Is the rope still being held by something up there?
If you pull on
give it a little tug.
Yeah, if you give it a little tug, it goes taut very quickly. So it looks like it might have been grown into the crystal substance.
Yeah, maybe if we have to, we can climb up and chip our way out. But let's take a quick look around us, and then did they already rest? Or do we need to...
I think
like...
Scylla and Corvin took a short rest.
Okay. I got that down. Cool.
Yeah.
Not sure about anyone else, and I'm trying. Give me guys
No,
just
me and Vargo went down to look at the hole.
yeah. Sorry, give me just
All
you
right,
guys,
yeah,
if you guys want to roleplay for a second, that's cool. I'm gonna try and find this map that I need to upload.
start poking around in the weird building remains, and I assume she went down a tunnel through here or something. It looked like she jumped right towards this hole.
Yeah, it definitely looked like she jumped in this direction. And down
How's
here,
your,
How strange.
once you're down here, Vargo, if you want to, you can make me a perception check too. You're able to see quite a bit.
So I think normally dark vision is you have disadvantage in darkness, but you can actually make the checks, whereas otherwise you can't. But I'm not 100% on that.
I've always worked that dark vision lets you see in darkness. It just is in grayscale.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have to disadvantage. You can do it normal.
15. It's not the worst.
Yeah, it's not the worst. Fargo, you guys are standing on like a 30-foot radius, almost whetstone flat. Like it's just been. It looks like it's been magically carved. The bottom of this hole that you're standing in. It's about 20 foot up. You can see the reflections of. Not really even the reflections, but just like the scintillating colors, not even colors, but like the textures and shapes of the shadow glass that's grown above you. There's a tremendous amount of it above you guys. When you guys had seen that fissure that had been the one by Nicaranu, it was a good amount of it there. I think there was something like 300-400 pounds of it that you guys harvested.
We harvested a lot.
Yeah, you harvested quite a bit. This is beyond quite a bit. This is tons and tons of shadow glass above you. Like 50 feet thick, 30 feet wide. It appears to be a solid crystalline structure that has grown in place, and as you look around, there's touches of a strange architecture on the walls, Vargo, that look like the corner of a building with the roof, like a pitched roof, poking out from the stone. The roof you can see has like clay terracotta style shingles on it even, and you can see maybe 5 foot of a roof in the corner of a stone building, and then over here you can see what looks like a 3-tiered fountain built in, and back even further you can see what looks like the front of a temple. It's if you're above the table, pretty Greek style, with fluted pillars, 4 of them flanking a large central archway with ornate scroll work made of stone. All of it's it's a dark stone. In the dark vision, it's hard to tell the color, but it's a dark colored stone, and it behind those fluted pillars is just the rock of the cavern. It's kind of wild. Do you want to make me we'll go with a nature check, I think.
Probably one of the best ones I've ever done. 23.
23, really good. Your first instinct is that whatever's going on here is not natural to this cavern. The stonework of these buildings is very intricate, and it doesn't look like a building, like especially this first one that you're seeing that looks like the corner of a roof and the corner of a building. It doesn't look like it. I mean, it looks old for sure, but it doesn't look like it's been buried, right? Or it doesn't look like it's been carved from a subterranean place. why would you need shingles in underground, right? It's weird. It's weird, and you're starting to get the idea that none of this should be here.
Yeah, that's my first impression. I'd probably immediately slink into a shadow and go start trying to poke around inside one of the buildings.
Hell,
Figure out what else is down here.
Heck yeah. And in the meantime, you guys are just standing there in complete darkness. And Vargo's...
I'll mutter,
there you go.
yeah, I'll be back in a sec.
He left us. He left us.
Does he just disappear? Shell's like, what the hell?
Heck yeah.
Have we seen him do that before?
I mean,
Do we have a torch or a candle anywhere close by, or anything that I feel can be combustible? Because I can use prestidigitation to start a fire real quick.
I will pull a torch out of my bag of holding.
And
Quiet, we don't know if anything else is down here.
Yeah, we can find out.
light the torch.
I'm not too worried.
Light the torch, and there's just two eyes staring at you. Snuff the torch out.
You snap, torch goes on. Oh shit! Snap, torch goes out.
I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what's in the dark.
As you should be. Heck yeah. But yeah, you guys can absolutely light up a torch if you want to, and illuminate the space. So Vargo, you're wanting to check out one of the nearby buildings, kind of that's poking out through the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as you make your way into the darkness, about 30 feet out from the edge of the from the center of the smooth cut area, the ground is much more jagged and kind of just random and chaotic. But as you make your way through it pretty easily, you're comfortable in these situations. You make your way over to this building. Do you want to make me an investigation check, sir?
Not my greatest. Not.
Okay. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's kind of bad, but it's commiserate to the actual task at hand. You see about 3 feet and about 4 feet coming together at a point of stone wall, coming together at a corner, and about 15 feet above you, the overhang of a pitched roof with those kind of like stoneworked terracotta tiles, and as the peanut gallery behind you ignites a fire source and it floods the room with light. And that doesn't flood the room with light, but it puts off enough light that you can your dark vision starts to normalize and you can start to pick up colors. And while the stone around you is it's got that characteristic volcanic soil and stone, so it's a lot of dark stone, and this these buildings down here are a kind of a really creepy white marble with black kind of I don't know what the word is for it, but the off colors inside a marble, striations we'll call it. It's oddly like coming from a shadowy hole in the ground. It's really weird and kind of even like borderline off-putting and like unsettling. But there's no door to this building. But the I'll say with a 9, I'll give you this. There's no foundation to the house or to the building that you're looking at. So you're able to actually kind of get down on your knees and look up under like the peak of the corner.
Oh yeah.
And do you want to make me a perception check? Hey, that's not bad. That's better than a 9. It's exactly double a 9. That's about the extent of the math I know, too. You kind of peer up into it, and it's... There's almost enough space that you could get your hand up in it before it's like the building is clipping through the stone wall. So there's a small cavity behind it that you could probably get your hand up into that goes all the way up to presumably the roof. But it's like it's
Probably
like,
can't get myself under there.
yeah,
though.
it's like it's wall and then cavern wall immediately inside of it.
One second. I have a steel mirror. Can I look up use the mirror to see what's on the other side of the wall? If there's anything in that gap or anything beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll say, shoot, roll me a d20. I got a table for things.
Oops, that was 2.
Oh, that's cool.
5 on the first one.
Okay, we'll call it a 5. With a, as you kind of like finagle this mirror a little bit to look up in here, there's not much except you can see a. It looks like it's hard to say, but it's fused into the stone wall. You can see it's a chain, like a really intricate, like jeweler's chain, like a braided length of silvery metal. It's hard. You assume it's silvery because inside of this white cramped space we're
Yeah.
back on dark vision grayscale, but it's a silvery chain that's got several like ornamental and like beads that look like kind of unfinished or rough cut stone, like semi-precious, like a I'm thinking in my head like a gate or something like that, where it's smooth cut on the edges, but it's kind of fused into the wall a little bit, but you figure it's maybe 2 feet up inside there. You could probably yank it out if you wanted to.
I'll try to like lay on my back and reach my arm up under it for that.
Cool. Do you want to make me sleight of hand just to see if we can do it without damaging it, maybe?
Yeah, can I guidance?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Alright, 1 second. 24.
Hey, 24 is good. Yeah, I'll say you get a real tight purchase on it and like kind of butt your hand up to the rock face, and you're able to like pull, and it feels like it gives a little ways, and you can feel kind of a snap to the chain, so it likely sustained some damage, but you got pretty much the whole length of it out.
Whatever was attached probably didn't come free.
Yeah. So as you pull it out, it looks like it's a it looks like a necklace or something. It's probably if you as you pull it out, the clasping mechanism that in the back looks like it has been deformed from the strain of pulling on it. Kind of like if you take a spring and like just really crank the end of it so that it but it's probably a 1.5 foot length of really intricate braided chain that glows but reflects silver in the light, and there are 4 of these purple stones that are just kind of dangle at the center of it, that are about 2 inches in length, and then the middle one, the middle 2, the outside 2 are about 2 inches in length, and then the middle 2 are 3 inches in length about.
1 second. I think I have... Yeah, can I whip out my jeweler's tools and try to inspect those?
Yeah, absolutely. You wanna? That gives you advantage on the roll, I believe.
Arcana or investigation with advantage, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can do either one.
Can I be weird for a second? I'm looking at the hole on this map, and the bush that's over by the crack. Oh my God, this is just leading up. I swear to God, it's not. This one right here. Does anyone else see a face in this? Like, look, this little head right here. There's his forehead, his nose, cheek, chin. This one right here, and that's like hair off the top.
Oh, I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
I can see
It has
that. That's too funny.
tripping me the fuck out for about the last 10 minutes, and I've been trying so hard not to say anything.
No, dude, I'm here. The D&D maps are so weird. I find weird stuff like that all the time. There was on the Curse of Strahd map, I found about 15 penises and a kitty cat.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm really sorry I had to say the bush near the crack of the hole, but
Hey, it'd be that way, man.
That happens.
They don't have a lot of razors out here on the islands.
That has got to be the thumbnail. It's got to be someone versus that bush, just like looking like a face coming at you.
But Vargo, so with a 13, oh, you're good, man. With a 13, Vargo, and we did Arcana. It doesn't look like there's any magical runes or anything carved into it. It's very similar to like it's almost like an agate, but it's like it's got like it's some type of precious stone that you're not familiar with, Fargo. We'll go that way. It's kind of got that like that look where it's very smooth and polished on the ends that butt up to each other. And then it's rough cut on the edges, and inside of it you can see just little like impurities or like defects that kind of make it a non-solid piece each. Like it's pretty, but it doesn't seem like it's got any magical thing to it. But it is definitely completely unknown to you, like the type of stone, and it definitely doesn't look like anything that you've seen on the islands here, I don't believe.
I'll pocket that and return to the party and say, it seems like these buildings and the contents of them were grown into by whatever place or force this is making the shadow blast. I didn't really see a way out of here. Maybe we can all try to look around, unless, yeah, no, we should be good. You guys just gotta rest. We can try to find the direction that she may have gone in down here. I've come across a wall so far, so not a great start.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to make some like perception checks or anything, you guys are more than welcome.
I'd like to do a history check to see if I can recognize anything.
Okay, go for it.
I mean, growing up in the nice part of town, why can't I roll my perception?
Shalla sees.
Yeah, I don't see shit.
Shalla sees everything. Holy cow!
Shall's also gonna guidance herself to see if she can hit 30.
Go for it.
Oh, she does.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
32.
Holy cow!
I see through the walls.
Shalla, you don't quite see through the walls, but what you do see is interesting. As Corvin lights up the torch that you hand him, and light spills out into the room, it pushes past where Vargo would have once seen the shadowy edge of his dark vision, and it's a big cavern. Maybe 75 feet from where you're standing is the furthest wall of it, and there are several buildings that you can see that are kind of like, they look like they're coming out of the stonework. They don't look like they belong there. The architecture is completely alien to you, Shalla, and
That'll be a 20 on history check.
Alrighty, perfect. We'll get to there in just a jiffy. Shalla, with your amazing 32, as you look up, you can see the along the like pushing out from the hole. You can see that crystalline ceiling that was created above you, expanding into the further into the hole. Into the
It's coming down.
well, like it's pushing into the cavern that exists below the ground. Like it's like it's trying to fill the container from the top down, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And
terrifying.
and at
Yes.
the furthest edges of the cavern, you see wisps and tendrils of blackness retreating and pushing into the stone and then leaving. They're only there for a moment, but it's like it's like as the crystal presses inward, it drives that shadow out.
Okay.
And what you also don't see with the 32 is any type of tunnel leading out from this place. And an additional thing that you see on a 32 is so Vargo is over. We'll say Vargo's over to your left at this house that's got the corner of it poking out, and then going I guess that would be clockwise. If you're going clockwise around this cavern from Vargo, is the one that looks like a temple. The very front of a temple, and then to your, we'll call it, so I'm just gonna position you guys around, so Vargo's up here, house here, temple thing here. Over here is where I described that like 3-tiered fountain that's coming out of the and Shalla, as you kind of look around the space, kind of hanging on that receding darkness, you all hear a sound at the same time, and you look over and you see the what at once looked like a pristine marble starting to crumble as that fountain like completely deteriorates and falls in on itself and then crumbles to the ground before that crumble turns to dust itself, leaving like and as it vanishes and turns to dust, there's no sign on the wall of the rest of that fountain. So if I'll say, seeing that, if let's go. We'll come back to you in a second, Shalla.
Yeah.
Scylla, you're on edge, and you're looking for any threat because you've seen this before, and you don't trust it one bit, and then Corvin with a 20 history check. It is an architecture that you have never seen before. Even on a 20, there's not much I can kind of give out. It's very alien. It's alien. But another thing is, I will say with a history check, Corvin, Onstry is kind of like entirely made out of marble. Onstria City is walled in marble. The cobblestones are marble, and Perigee Point has the great naval beacon built of white marble. And none of the marble that you have ever seen in Onstria has ever had any black striations running through it. It's almost like it's very similar to how Shalla's the gold in Shalla's Vale looks, but it's it's like pure white marble with like black veins running through it, and
Okay.
you're starting
Almost
to
like the model itself is corrupted, kind of.
corrupted or something. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's really weird, and it doesn't look like any marble you've ever seen before. And marble's strong, and marble lasts, and that's why. Well, and it's also pretty. That's kind of the big reason why you guys use it. But it just from I guess this works for history too. From the moment you guys touched down and were able to start to see, it looked pristine. It looked almost new, but it crumbled away to nothing. Like it aged 3,000, 4,000 years, like in an instant. It something weird about that. Interesting question for Shalla. Because Shalla got that crazy 32. Do you, what do you think, Shalla? What do you think Maya was doing here?
Is clearly opening something.
Right, because you know that she had, whatever she had done, she did something to bore out and expand that fissure.
Yeah. It looked like something has lived here before, so Shalla would think maybe that she was trying to release something. She doesn't know what might be under the ground, because as far as she knows, nothing lives under the ground like this far down.
Do you want to make me an Arcana check, Shalla?
Sure.
6, perfect.
Oh wow. We're gonna guidance that and maybe get something there. But we'll see.
Maybe.
Probably not. The best I can hope for is a 10.
Hey, and you
that's
get
what
a
I got.
10. Heck yeah. With a 10 Arcana check, Shalla, I'll just say this: you're stumped. You're stumped. It's so weird, and that's when you hear, They didn't want to stick around and play with us. It's a cute ring, by the way.
Shalla's gonna jump you like, fuck. An islander, of course, because she wouldn't be so crass to say that. She's gonna carefully take off the ring, hand it back to Vargo, and be like, "It didn't work."
That sound. How do you know it didn't work?
Because I just heard her talk to me.
Give me your bag.
What are you gonna do with it?
Keep you from opening it.
Okay.
In case she... I mean, I don't know. She's already in your head.
Yeah, I'm attuned to it, so I'm assuming she couldn't talk to Vargo necessarily.
Yeah.
I'll,
Okay, well, Shalla will hand the bag to Vargo. See.
Yeah, I'll put the bag of holding in my backpack.
Okay, cool. I don't want to go with him. But the voice trails off. Almost like it's going somewhere, Shalla. You hear it like perspective in your head.
Yeah.
You know, like it's weird. It's really weird. It's an odd sensation. But Vargo, as you take the bag of holding and put it in your bag, you hear a voice in your head.
Okay.
And it's not Ira. It's Abhaile. Vargo, if you're hearing this, that means you're alive. Are you alive?
Is that all the message
That's
says?
the whole message.
I'll reply, let me count on my fingers. Alive. Just traveled into some magical underworld. Huge hole in ground. Islander was enlarging. Ancient temple type thing. I think that's about 25 words.
Okay, sounds good, man. And it's really fun when you sit there and you count out your 25 and the DM responds with like 85 and you're like, but anywho.
Then you string it together like, we had a baby, it's a boy.
Hey, It's how you interpret the words. But immediately you get a sending back. The first thing you hear is a gigantic sigh of relief. Perfect. Are you in a large enough open space? And that's all you get on that one?
I'll send back underneath shadow glass, man-made cave filled with parts of buildings sticking out of walls. I guess I'll say one collapsed to dust.
Perfect. As you say that, actually, the building that you had been fishing your arm around in actually starts to crumble as well. And you hear this gigantic, loud echoing off of the entire underground space, just vroom, 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 vroom. It's kind of like, it's like a pulsing sound, and then it makes a, like an ear-splitting. In my head, it's the War of the Worlds sound that the creatures make. Just that really crazy, like, metal, like, shrill sound. And there's a bright flash of light right next to you, Vargo. And in that space, does anybody want to do anything real quick while that's happening as well? It's a bright flash of light and a loud noise right next to Vargo.
Probably dive for cover and start freaking out.
Right. Shield and axe up.
Heck yeah. As the light subsides, Vargo, you see the form of your patron, Abhaile Vanesh, standing in the cave with you. As the light from Corvin's torch kind of floods in the space, the rest of you guys see a pale-skinned, half-elven female with long, dark brown hair, wearing a emerald green cloak and hooded cloak, similar to Corvin's in a lot of ways, but with paisley designs all over it. And in the center of those paisley swirls are little eyeballs that almost seem like they're moving and looking around. And she's wearing a short skirt and a traveling attire, it looks like. Oh, wow, you weren't kidding. What in the hell? Okay. And she's like frantically looking around, taking everything in, looking up at the ceiling. Her eyes kind of go wide as she like, okay. Hey, Vargo, you died.
What?
Yes, Captain Teal sent word just moments ago that you and your companions had fallen in your efforts to assist the islanders.
No, we just encountered some very hostile islanders who we fought with and then chased here. We never... Do you have another source you can try to confirm the info you got from? Because, I mean, unless you just died coming here, I think someone may be lying to you.
And she looks, as you say, the islanders part, she looks at Scylla and Shalla, because she's not from here. Are they friendly?
Yeah, Shalla is. Scylla's from somewhere else across the water or something.
Okay,
Not really.
So this
100%.
isn't the islander you fought with. Okay.
No, we chased them into here. That's how we got in this hole.
Okay. Let me click on something real quick.
It was, yeah, can we... Shalla recognized her. Can we summarize what the stories about this older woman?
Okay.
And give context to who Maya was?
Absolutely. Okay, so, well, that's troubling. That is the actual source that this information came from. Captain Teal was informed by the speaker of the island and said that you all had fallen.
Yeah, she tried to corrupt our minds or something. There's been, I don't know how much you got from my previous messages, but there's been these dark cracks appearing and making the locals evil, or having some motives that we can't determine that end up kidnapping people. Seemed evil to me.
Oh,
It's definitely not friendly. By the way, who is this? And what is this?
Oh, this is
What
this is
going
my
on
boss and Corvin's boss's boss.
this is Abhaile Vanash. I'm lead researcher and assistant to the High Arcanist of the Austrian Novenarchy, Abhaile Vanash. Pleased to meet you. And then as you say Corvin's name, she looks straight at him. And she does, she like holds her finger up, points it at him, holds her finger up again, points it at him again, cocks her head to the side. That's not supposed to be here. Okay. This is just, this is a clusterfuck. Okay.
Wait, he's not supposed to be here. He's my hired help.
Yeah, no, I think you might have gotten mixed up. Your hired help pointy ears. This is, that's a problem. That's a problem for another day. Okay, all right. So you're not dead. Okay, this is a situation. We've got a problem. We've got multiple problems. It's so... Are these islands hostile?
Not usually.
We kind of killed most of the ones who were hostile in rescuing Corvin. And while she's
throws his hood up over his head and just kind of turns around and starts to look at George while you guys are talking.
Yeah, well, the hood doesn't help.
While she's babbling a bit, I'm gonna tell Shalla, this is the voice from my head. I hope yours doesn't come join us too.
I hope mine doesn't either. Mine seems much, much more frightening.
Okay, now there's voices in people's head. What is going on? Okay.
She has this... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention... Wait, did I not mention the Shadow Glass artifact?
Oh.
She's got this magical ball that has some sort of intelligence within it that wanted to come down here. So we're not taking it out of the bag of holding.
Okay, wow,
It's a little frightening, but...
frightening, interesting, exciting, terrifying, all of these things at the same time. It's so great. We probably, oh, good lord. And this is only the tip of the iceberg, as it seems. We're having some problems back home too, well.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, it's really legitimately nothing. We've just religion's all of a sudden a big deal. I don't know. It's really all tiring. Anyways, some people are throwing a fit here and there. There's a couple riots. I don't know, it's nothing too big of a deal. But we've got that going on, and now we've got this potential whole giant political thing that could turn into an open war with, our new allies, and this is just all fantastic, and we need more answers.
We found a fairly ill-equipped and not very competent group of rebels who were mostly outcasts from the society. And they seem like they may have been related to this Maya and the other woman, but we're not entirely sure. So there may be a decent amount of people on the island who are already at war with us.
And okay, and this shadow glass that you had talked about, this is what this is? She's pointing up into the sky at the crystallized...
Yeah. As far as we can tell, it's the same stuff.
Holy cow, there's so much of it.
I know, right?
And it can make magical items?
Yes, somehow. She didn't seem like an artifabrian, but we met an old woman who sent us into some sort of dream state or demi-plane or something to, not sure if we captured the being that's inside of this for her, or we just helped her place it in the orb or something. But you'd probably like to meet her.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Well, this is above my pay grade now. So I'll tell you what. Come here. All of you, come close.
Okay.
Do you all come close?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I stay in the back, but yeah.
Okay. Takes her hands and splays them out in a circle around her, kind of tucking her elbows into the small of her back, and as she completes the circle, it expands out past you all, through you all, a glowing light of blue, and it starts to rotate around you all, and you hear that same crazy loud noise, and you are yanked through time and space and impossibility as the world spins around you and shatters into stars and shatters into a gassy nebula and then shatters into deep water and then shatters into daylight. Really close to dusk. The setting sun high overhead and far to the direction east, and with a as like a glow of orange covers the sky from the east. Beneath you, Shalla, you for the first time in your whole life feel cold marble, and as you guys look around, you are standing in Vargo. Vargo and Corvin both intimately familiar with the Crystal Heart district at the center of Onstria. It's an awe-inspiring area with massive buildings of pure marble accented with gold. There are floating gardens, not gardens, but floating plants in pots, lining the center cobblestone streets that branch out and go to buildings here and there. And at the heart is the massive luminary plaza, where it's like a tiered amphitheater type thing, where the streets are all cobbled marble, and this steps down, and then it steps down again into this massive wide plaza that's flanked by long curving swaths of vegetation and plant life that have been placed in there. And at the center is a large, it's kind of like a mix between a weeping willow and a cherry blossom situation.
Oh, there's weeping cherry blossoms, so...
Oh, no kidding. Cool, it's one of those.
Yes, and they are stunning.
Heck yeah. And at the base of this tree are a large collection, almost like it has to be a topiary type of situation, of Onstrian roses, which Onstrian roses are slightly different than your average. They're the petal is much similar to a regular rose, but it's like a, I don't know, they're long wispy bits on the end of it that kind of flow in the wind. Some of them can be 3-4 feet long, actually. So it's kind of an odd thing. Whereas roses grow in a bush, these are like tall flowers. And beyond the plaza, you can see a handful of shops, and then the.
Well, Shalla, I guess you get to be an ambassador sooner than we thought. Welcome
Yes,
to
this
the big
place
city.
is beautiful. So different.
The finer things in life.
This is where you all grew up?
This is where I work.
This is nice.
You work?
Mine's a little nice down here.
As everything starts to like that woozy feeling of that roller coaster ride feeling that you guys have just kind of been through subsides, Adelie kind of collects herself, and I promise I will return you all quite soon. I just there's so much going on here that we need to fill in. We need to fill in higher up so that they can. She kind of like, as you're all still kind of huddled around her, like, I don't want to alarm you all, especially you, young lady. The things that are going on that island could unravel our entire political relationship, and that we have to get in front of this quickly and do something about this. Vargo, Corvin, again, we'll deal with that. But this place is. Be careful on the streets if you are out in any time. I have to impress upon you that that these riots, they're not a big deal, but they are happening. They are happening down at the Key. I'm sorry, it's just spelled K, and I'm not used to seeing that. And you guys would know that to be the waterfront where the shipyards and the port are, and the glades are not a safe place as well. And again, you guys know the glades are kind of the middle class residential district of Austria. It's kind of like a big half circle that's not really even a half circle, more like a 3/4 of a circle on the mouth of the bay, with the Key pushing out from it. And the entirety of Austria is a walled city, with walls on the inside as well, delineating from the different districts. Scylla, it actually reminds you quite a bit of Ulara, with the general construction and the disciplined order to it.
I like it.
But yes, please come with me. And actually ahead of you guys, you hear a bunch of shouting, and you can actually see some Austrian guardsmen that look kind of similar to what Corvin's got going on, except they're wearing very golden armor under their sharp green cloaks. It looks like it might be ceremonial in nature. But and let me just 1 second, actually.
Things are really getting bad here, huh?
Yeah, she's like.
Put up again. Pulls it up a little bit higher.
Okay, as she's kind of like hurrying you guys along through the street. She's well, it's Siobhan's fault, really, I guess, kind of, maybe, I don't know. She convinced the Novanarchy to allow her to do research on the Moondrop, and has been...
that sounds fine.
Exactly, right, the possibilities. And she's been doing very non-invasive research there, but it's a holy site to them. Corellia, she's not happy, they say. So they're just expressing their frustrations the best way they know how, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they're upset. That is for sure. It's mostly harmless. They put propaganda. They prestidigitate propaganda on the walls, like down with the Novanarchy, and they're just blowing off steam. I don't think they're very serious.
All right, if you say so.
Yeah, as you kind of like as you round the central plaza, and aiming for the tower at the far end of the district that you guys know would be the home of the Novanarchy. I have a word for it somewhere, but I just can't find what it is.
I was just gonna be looking around like, what are all of these words? What is all of this?
Yeah, we make up fancy weird words for normal things.
It's kind of
That's how our culture works.
yeah. It's something. 1 second. This is uploading right now, guys. So just give me a tiny more second, and let me see if I can try to find this goofy name of this building. The Aether Spire. That's what we're walking towards. The Aether Spire is the headquarters of the Novanarchy, and as you guys look up towards it, it is a massive. Corvin, it looks a lot like the beacon at Perigee Point. It's a white tower that goes up maybe 300 feet into the air, like tapered, so it gets quite narrow at the very top of it, and below it is the only thing in Onstria City that is not white marble is the black marble of the Hall of Storms below it, which is where the regional governor of the city, you guys would know of Stormlord Kalos. He's like the mayor of the town, and they're the president. It's like if this was Washington D.C., that's that's the capital, and this is the White House type of thing.
Do they mention the Hall of Storms out loud? Shalla's gonna be like, that sounds nice.
Yeah. We'll call it as a tour. Yeah, she's pointing these things out, especially to Scylla and Shalla, because you guys have never been here before. So she's like, I mean, it's okay. It's just where people come to it. They're small people. They do their best, but the real government is up there. That's where I work. Pointing up.
Storms don't sound very nice.
Huh.
Well, it's not really a storm. A Stormlord is a title we give to our local rulers, if you will, our ship captains and our local rulers.
Oh, okay.
And let me pull you guys over here real quick.
Ooh, pretty.
The Crystal Heart District. As you guys are approaching the large Hall of Storms, there's a massive reflecting pool out front of it with statues in interesting statues, actually. The main statue out front is a very imposing, large elven man, bald head, wearing armor, and at his side is a long curved blade, very similar to the one that you picked up, Corvin. And Vargo and Corvin, you guys would both recognize this as Jane Onster, who is the founder of the Empire. So as you guys approach the gates of the front gates of the Hall of Storms, it's kind of a weird, contrived situation where you have to go through there to get to the Aether Spire. We are going to call the session there and pick up from here next week and see what we can get up to in a new land for a few days and just see what kind of fun's going on. Maybe we'll get caught up in a riot, who knows?